Welcome back to Close Up. Now that's not Concord. This is a look at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., where it is a Republican world these days in the nation's capital. But you wouldn't know it by looking at New Hampshire's congressional delegation. All 4 women are Democrats. After new members of Congress were sworn in, I sat down with our 2 senators and House reps to talk about what's on the horizon for our state and the nation.
Senator Shaheen, let's start with you. Obviously, you're no stranger to making history on your own, but as you look around you right now, you must feel pretty proud.
Oh, it's exciting. And it's exciting not only to have all women, but to have a Democratic delegation, and we share so many views on health care for people in New Hampshire and this country, on how to address the opioid epidemic that we're facing, on what we need to do to make sure that there are opportunities and good jobs for people in New Hampshire and throughout the country. So I think we're all really looking forward to working together.
And Senator Hassan, we can drop a lecture from your name now. She just touched on some of the issues that are important in New Hampshire. Obviously, after 4 years as governor, you're well versed in those. Does that aid you in being able to hit the ground running and being part of the team?
Well, I really want to make sure that New Hampshire's representation in Washington reflects the values and the priorities of the people of New Hampshire. And certainly as governor, I've tried to work with the people of New Hampshire to address our heroin and opioid crisis, for instance, make sure that people have access to health care, which is why protecting our bipartisan Medicaid expansion program in New Hampshire is so important. And that's something that's threatened right now by the majority in this Congress. We know that we need to continue to invest in education generally, and also bringing down the cost of higher education and job training, because we know how important job training is in the innovation economy. We all are really focused on how we can expand middle class opportunity, create those kind of jobs that give parents confidence again that their kids are going to have a better future than they did. And then also, you know, we also know how important it is right now that we do everything both at home and internationally to keep our state and our country safe, secure, and free.
Congresswoman Custer, this is your 3rd term. Obviously, you're all dealing with a Republican majority, no secret there. But as you talk about New Hampshire priorities specific to the opioid and heroin crisis, and you look at some of the things that we see with the Affordable Care Act, is there an understanding that they're all very much linked when it comes to Medicaid expansion or some of the other issues out there? Obviously, you're putting together a task force on this issue.
Absolutely, and I'm delighted to share with my colleagues this focus on the heroin epidemic that sadly has taken over New Hampshire. We've got a bipartisan task force in the House, 85 members, both sides of the aisle. And as these members educate themselves on access to treatment that's so critical and recovery, they'll find that so many of those people are covered by this Medicaid expansion from the Affordable Care Act. And so we can't lose sight of the goal of getting people back to work, back to their communities, back to their families, and really making our whole state, the Granite State, healthy and strong, and sharing those lessons all across the country.
Congresswoman Shea Porter, congratulations. Obviously, you bring a different perspective. Welcome back to Washington.
Thank you.
Because you've been part of the majority and a minority here. What do you see could be different in this cycle, this administration, this 115th Congress, when there's so much frustration out there in the party electorate?
Well, it didn't start off very well when they were talking about eliminating, the ethics committee. That was very worrisome. They've pulled back since then, but I don't think that was a good start. And hopefully that was a blip on the screen, that we will be able to do what everybody has promised for the people of New Hampshire and the people of this country, because what they're looking for a high level of ethics, they're looking for fiscal responsibility, but they're also looking to make sure that we have the funding that we need for Social Security and Medicare and for Medicaid expansion. We worked very hard to have that in New Hampshire. And we know that with the fentanyl and heroin crisis, that Medicaid expansion covers 6,000 people that would be eligible for treatment if we maintain that. So what I'm hoping is that we don't slide backwards. I have talked to a number of my Republican friends today quietly, and I think some of them share that same concern, that we have to make sure that we don't do anything so dramatic that we hurt the people, the very people that we're all trying to help.
Well, I think it's early, so we'll see as events unfold. But I do think that what I believe we need to do is to work with President-elect Trump when we agree with the priorities that he set, whether it's investment in infrastructure, which he's talked about. He's talked about health care for everyone in this country. He's talked about not doing anything to Medicare, which is a program that's worked really well for so many older people. And so if he's going to stay with those commitments, he committed when he was in New Hampshire to fighting the opioid epidemic. If he's going to keep those commitments, we're going to be with him. If he's going to back off of that, if he's going to change his position, then I think we're going to have to debate that.
Congresswoman Custer.
Well, I think we need to know when we're going to stand together and when we're going to stand firm if he tries to cut Medicare and, increase the age or cut the benefits in some way that damages seniors in New Hampshire. I'm on the Veterans Affairs Committee. I'm very concerned about the talk about privatizing the care for veterans. Yes, they need alternatives so that they can get access to high quality care in a timely way, but I know veterans in New Hampshire don't want to get rid of hook, line, and sinker and just privatize the whole operation. So I agree with Senator Shaheen. He's very volatile. We don't know. But I think your point is well taken. Our Republican colleagues don't know. I mean, today they pulled back in the House because of a tweet from the president-elect. So they're getting a dose of his style right now themselves.
Yeah, he's not letting any lag time go when it comes to letting his positions known, at least on that particular issue. Senator Hassan, does your role, in terms of the delegation as a whole, do you think your role could be more of a conduit? You're obviously all engaged with your constituents, and you talk to everybody, and you're out there on the ground. But you just left the governor's office, and does that aid you in being somewhat of a conduit to Governor-elect Sununu's administration to talk about the things that the federal government can do?
Well, I certainly, that is certainly one of the things that I want to be able to do for Granite Staters as senator, and I have already had good discussions with Governor-elect Sununu. One of the things that I've also tried to do both as a governor and now as a senator is really talk about what the National Governors Association has been focused on with things like combating heroin and opioid addiction. That was an area in which a bipartisan group of governors came together making recommendations about the federal action that needs to happen that could help all of our states. And it's exactly that kind of focus. Sitting here with another former governor, governors have to get things done. We work across party lines. I often think that our job here is to follow the example of our constituents, who certainly work together despite disagreements all the time, and they solve problems in their daily lives.
Is there a gut check time, and anyone can jump in, I'm not sure who wants to take this. Is this a gut check time for Democrats to take a look at themselves inward and say, you know what, moving forward, we got to change the way we do things?
Well, listen, after every election, I think it's important to assess where we are, whether you win or you lose. And I think we're in that kind of a situation, and we do need to take a look at what's important to the American people. For all of us, it's what's important to New Hampshire as well as to America. We need to make sure that this country is moving forward, that we're making sure that people here have opportunities, that they have health care when they need it, that they can get a good job, they can send their kids to college if they want to go. And all of that is what I think the American people want us to do. So, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, it's important for us to take a look at that.
Well, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations to all of you. The work now gets started, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Thank you very
We're
much.
off to
Not
votes.
soon enough.
Thanks,
Happy New
Josh.
Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
The bar is set high for that history-making group. We'll be right back with my one-on-one interview with the incoming White House Press Secretary, Sean Spicer. Stay with us.